Verse 622. Discrimination now being unobtainable, it is not aroused. Discrimination not being aroused, how can a mind rise? Mind only, then, is not tenable. In the previous verse I suggested, to get a sense of what's meant by discrimination, we used the word cognition. Cognition assumes that we're cognizing an external world. But this is a prejudice. And as Enlightenment practitioners, we do not exercise this prejudice. We do not exercise this discrimination. And when we're successfully practicing, this is it. This is how it is. The attention comes back to rest in itself, in pure awareness, in suchness. The mind becomes still. When we give up on cognition, it's like waking up from a dream. And the dream mind is no longer operating. The mind that was caught up in the world of the dream. So discrimination not being aroused, the whole world, which we're told is being cognized, when we're told it doesn't exist, when we see for ourselves it doesn't exist, when we give up on that discrimination, the mind that buys into it does not arise. And this last phrase is a little bit strange. Mind only, then, is not tenable. Well, really, at this point, there is only mind only. The point is, it's not tenable. It's not something that you have to hang on to. It's not something you have to strive for. It's not something you have to work towards. It is what is. It is all that is. All that apparently is mind only. So this is realization. We're not gradually eking our way to mind only. The fact that there is something happening is the fact of mind only. This is what the next few verses are reinforcing. Verse 623. When thought is divided into many, the teaching lacks in validity, and owing to the absence of validity, there is no emancipation, nor is there multitudinousness of objects. At this point we have to go beyond any teaching, any spiritual teaching. All spiritual teachings are limited by the use of words, which involve thoughts. It's not saying that the teachings are wrong. It's saying the teaching lacks in validity. And in keeping with the spirit of the previous verse, we're moving beyond the idea that you're moving from one state to another, from a state of ignorance to a state of emancipation. There's the realization that the world of external things, as it's apparently cognized, doesn't exist. That's what the last phrase means. Nor is there a multitudinousness of objects. And these objects can be spiritual ideas as well. As verse 621 said, There's neither transmigration nor nirvana. So we don't need to worry about any of this. Instead of understanding everything that is going on as a world to be cognized, as a world to be discriminated, we understand or we realize that everything that is going on is mind only. Verse 624 tells us there is no such objective world as is discriminated by the ignorant. When the mind goes astray on account of habit energy, it manifests itself like images. So this brings it all into focus once again. There is no such objective world to be cognized. To believe otherwise is a discrimination which we step back from. Falling into this discrimination, as we do much of the time, is ignorance. And it's driven by habit energy, the habit energy of moods, of personal psychology, of culture. So when the mind goes astray, it manifests itself like images. It manifests itself in the apparent multitudinousness of objects. So this next run of verses is very much concerned with this realization of what is going on, rather than being a world to be cognized, is actually mind itself. And this is a useful and inspiring thread to our practice.